Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is Thursday, October the... What is this?
On the camera thing?
No, that's gone.
Oh, okay.
We had that issue last week, and then I
gone.
took it off, and it's gone.
And it's gone.
And so yeah, it should be okay. It should be okay. The
Cool.
fine folks don't be able to let us know. I got to turn dark mode on this chat. Anyone else feel like in the year of our Lord 2018 dark mode should be the default on literally
Yes.
everything?
Yes.
Because that's what I'm feeling.
I use dark mode for everything.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't?
Well, why, I don't know a situation where I've ever been on a website and went, man, this isn't bright enough. Like, especially at night, like you're in your office and you're surfing, doing whatever. Even if you're on YouTube or you're watching a video or something, and it just, you hit a page, something pops up, and it's like you're in the center of the sun. You're like that GIF. I don't know if you know the GIF I'm talking about. Is that like it's like a small black kid, and he's got like this kind of he doesn't have like a high top, but it's kind of like standing up like it would be. It just hasn't been formed yet. And he's going. Like, that's me every time I go to a new website in the middle of the night. My eyes just burn at the back of my head. Yes, we need dark mode as a standard. Twitch, are you hearing me right now? That's what we need. But yeah, it is Thursday, October this is the 18th, I think, today.
It is.
All day.
October 18th, which means in about 3.5 months, I'm going to be a dad.
Start the clock.
Well, 3.5 months.
Start the clock. We need a
be a
digital
dad.
clock right up here that just has
The
a
countdown.
And then one morning you're going to come downstairs and look at it. It's going to say 48 hours remaining. And you're going to go, oh.
Goodness. Ugh.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming, guys.
But yeah, it's another Technical Alpha podcast. We got another. I want to say we have a great show for you today, but if we
You'd be
do,
lying.
if we do, it's because Jeff and I have carried it like absolute gods. Because nothing has happened this week.
It's a very, very slow week. We tried outsourcing with the community, so maybe if you guys in chat know of something that's happened in gaming related stuff that you think we should talk about, you can put it in the chat. We might not talk about it, but if it's something worth
we'll
mentioning,
we
will.
We'll get through our topics. I posted on Patreon the tech support for today a few hours ago, and because I did it from my phone and I didn't quite see it in time, apparently on the Patreon phone app you can't edit posts. Or if you can, I couldn't figure out how to, and so it wasn't locked to $10 patrons this week.
Oh, it's open.
It's open season.
Open.
But it's by the looks of it, after we tried to outsource the news and we tried to figure it all out. Excuse me. It seems like it didn't matter anyway. We might need those questions.
We might need them.
We might need the questions.
So, before we get started today,
yes.
Well, I guess we've already started, but before we get into like any news, perhaps Adam, you can share.
Oh, the podcast Patreon changes?
Yeah, the changes, because Adam's the one who did all the changes. I mean, we talked about the different tiers and stuff that we're going to do, and we mentioned it last week on the podcast about like the physical deliveries and stuff like that. But everything's been updated now.
Yes.
On the Patreon, and even the link has changed. So if you try going to patreon.com/technicalalpha,
you're going to get a 404.
You're going to get a 404. Now it's patreon.com/LAGTV.
LAGTV.
Simple.
Very simple.
Very simple.
Much shorter than it was before.
We've also have some new branding.
We
right?
do.
So we have a new logo, which is pretty freaking awesome, by the way.
People have already been asking me for merchandise with the new LAGTV logo on it.
I actually would. I would fuck with a sweater of that merch.
With that,
that's a pretty fire.
Yeah, I mean, because of the size of or not the size of LAGTV, but because of the broken nature of the content, and then we're not really in a live environment very often. Instead of doing like a Teespring run, we're probably best to just try and figure out a way of setting up a store that just permanently has gear.
Yes. Then you can just go and buy it whenever you want.
And then just go and buy it whenever you want. So we will. I'm not going to promise that's going to happen tomorrow. I've got enough that we're trying to do here with this.
We'll try and get it done before Christmas.
It'll try and happen before Christmas so that you guys can get your hands on some stuff.
Hey, we've been making some serious progress, though.
Yes.
I mean, we've got a new Patreon. We've got some new tiers. We've got new logos. We've got a new podcast set up.
And that's only a couple weeks. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Given we work outside of this, I'd say it's not a half bad turnaround time.
Pretty good.
So, yeah. But so Jeff's already hit on the important parts here. It's the most important part, if you're listening to this or watching this, is that the Patreon has changed from patreon.com/technicalalpha to patreon.com/LAGTV.
Yep.
So that's the most important change. I've already been in the midst of going through old YouTube videos and stuff and changing all of the links to the appropriate place. I'm not done yet. I got down to episode 26 before YouTube died. The whole website died.
Yeah, it went down the other day.
So I'll eventually get that finished. But yeah, that's an important piece. And then the other important piece is, like Jeff mentioned, we've changed the tiers. And we talked about this on the previous podcast. But what's pertinent information here is that we have no idea how it's going to affect Patreon or patrons who were in tiers that we cannibalized or formed into or merged with other tiers.
Yes.
For example, I think it's the $50 tier doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. Well, why don't we just start at the bottom? Let's go through the tiers.
Oh yeah, you've got it pulled up.
Yeah, I've got it pulled up here.
All right, so one sec, I'll get.
Yeah. We may as well just, since it's a short news week, we may as well take the time here and because if you guys enjoy the StarCraft related content. We are now going to be producing that stuff again. That's why Adam comes over my house earlier in the days now. And we'll be recording When Cheese Fails, NovaWar Says, some normal games, those sort of things. And the Patreon is going to be how you guys can submit your replays. And don't worry, it's not super expensive. And we'll talk about that in a second. In fact, we'll just start with the very first tier, which is called the dollar menu, which was already on there before.
Yes.
So if you are a supporter of $1 or more a month on Patreon, you will be able to submit your When Cheese Fails replays every week. So as long as you got $1 in there, we will consider your replay for a cast on an official season of When Cheese Fails. You're still going to get the Technical Alpha RSS feed. And you get access to Patreon-wide posts here on Patreon. So basically nothing changes, except now you're just getting
a When Cheese
Fails entry.
And asterisks, and I have all of this, like, so the all of the information in the middle of the Patreon page is all changed as well to reflect what's happening right now. So I explain the replay submission stuff. I explain how you submit the replays. And then the most important thing here is we're not doing When Cheese Fails until the Patreon is at a certain marker.
Yes.
We're doing the regular StarCraft content.
We owe them When Cheese Fails for
I'm talking after that.
But after that, yes.
Yeah, so we are doing a 10-episode thing for because of the World Vision thing.
Yes.
But going forward for the Patreon side, I mean, we don't do When Cheese Fails unless the Patreon is at the $5,000 a month goal.
Yes.
When we're at that, we will then be posting a post that you will be able to submit your replays to onto that post, and then we will be choosing from there. It's the only real way that we can easily vet people being Patreon members submitting replays.
Yes.
So we'll be doing it that way. So there's not if we're not at that tier, if we're not at that goal, or it's not being met in that particular month, then there won't be a post. Hold on to your replays. It's not like they're going to have to go anywhere.
Yeah.
And then when it becomes available, choose your best one
and submit it.
Yeah. And you're off to the races. And that is kind of the same way that all of the submissions are going to work. For the regular games, it's the same thing. And you get into that at the $5 tier if you want to.
Yeah, you can send that stuff in. We're going to be casting, like, we're going to be doing StarCraft no matter what. We just want to make sure that, you know, if we're going to be doing this old school and going through all of your replays and picking a When Cheese Fails and stuff, that you know, we want to be paid to do this type of work. You know, we retired this line a long time ago.
Yeah.
But we're excited. We're, like I said, you're gonna have When Cheese Fails for the next like 10 weeks anyway, because we owe you that much. So we're hoping that with all of these new add-ons that we're adding into the Patreon and the new content that we're going to be producing, that not only the Technical Alpha stuff, the people that are listening right now, you're probably already supporting if you or not, but we're going to be advertising this Patreon with LAGTV content, right? So hopefully the people that are not watching this podcast at all will be supporting us on the very same Patreon to get in on some of the StarCraft stuff or the playthrough stuff or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so the next one, beta tester, $5. Nothing really changes there. You're going to get a link to download the Technical Alpha theme song. Everything else in the previous tier. So once again, you'll be able to send in When Cheese Fails replays, and you'll also be able to send in regular games.
Yes.
All right, so at the $5 tier, regular games and When Cheese Fails. We didn't want to put a big paywall behind When Cheese Fails because it's only $1, so everybody can submit and have that. But the people that want to have their games cast like normal games, $5 to have a chance.
Yeah. Exactly.
$10. Q&A team. Oh, you changed the name?
Nope, that's same.
Was always that? Okay.
Yep.
So the $10 one is same thing here. You can ask us a question via the tech support segment, and you get everything else in the previous, the When Cheese Fails, normal game submission, and what was the other one?
You get access to the
high quality audio.
Yeah, and I've outlined. I think I outlined somewhere the difference between. Maybe I didn't outline that in the thing. Not that it probably matters to a lot of people, but the difference between the regular podcast audio and the high quality podcast audio, for those interested, is we already output higher than the average podcast does for the standard audio. Most podcasts are 64 kilobit. We're 96. So it already sounds pretty good, especially since it's mono audio. So what happens when mono audio at 96 is it's the equivalent of 192 stereo. So you might look at it and go, well, I'm downloading these MP3s and they're 192. Well, they're in stereo, and that's why they're at a higher bit rate. You have twice as much shit to encode. So you get 96, and then the high-quality stuff, though, which is on SoundCloud that you end up being able to download through a link that I post and make available to the tiers it's applicable to, is 160. So it's the equivalent of 320,
you can hear us sexy as
you
all.
can hear our mouth noises in as crisp and clear as you could have possibly wanted to. It's about as close to lossless as we can do it without posting like a 3 gig file. So that's the difference between the two. You get access to that at the $10 tier.
$25 tier. It's called pre-order. You get to do, okay, so this is a cool one. So the $25 tier, you get everything above that we just talked about, or below. So the When Cheese Fails, the normal game submissions, the high quality audio, the theme song, all that stuff. But with the $25 one, you can submit a hit me up with that noise for our StarCraft 2 casts. So, like we said, we're going to be casting normal games, no matter what. Some likely When Cheese Fails and NovaWar Says or whatever. And what you'll be able to do, instead of Adam saying, Jeff, hit me up with the noise of Adam explaining audio quality, you can actually tell him what to tell me. So you'll be like, he'll say like, Mr. MaximusBlack, Mr. Miyagi wants you to hit him up with the noise of whatever.
Yeah.
Right? So you guys will be able to pick the noise. It can be whatever the fuck you want, and I will do my best at I won't know what it is.
Yes.
Adam will tell me what it is on the fly, and I won't prepare. I'll just give you whatever I come up with. Which I think is a cool tier. So the next one, we go right up to 100. So we removed the $50 tier and like the 5 or 6 people that were were in it.
So that's what so we've removed a couple of tiers. So what I wanted to say was, if you were a part of those tiers, specifically I think the $50 tier was where people were. The other tiers we removed, nobody was sitting there. Double check and make sure that you are still registered. If you want to still support, you can still support at $50. There's nothing stopping you. You get all the perks that you would get.
Yep.
It's like you would before.
It's just not an official
It's
tier
just
for
not
it.
an official tier for it. I mean, theoretically on Patreon, you don't have to do exactly the amount that's at each tier.
Yeah.
You give how much you want, and then it's if you meet that level, you're going to get those rewards.
Correct.
So yeah, make sure that for those that may have been, brought into other tiers, that everything is still okay on your end. I'm pretty sure it's fine and it's not going to, do anything. I put out a notice ahead of time to make sure as many people as possible knew that the changes were coming and whatnot, so you should have already likely seen it. But regardless, give it a look, see if it's still going. But yes, we were at straight to $100
Straight to $100, the executive producer. So there's quite a few people that are in this one. There's 7 people, and they're there basically every month, so thank you so much. You'll be able to submit a NovaWar Says, if you like, or a normal game, but you also get a guaranteed cast a month.
Yes.
So, if
and that's a normal game or a NovaWar
or
Says.
a NovaWar Says, not both, one or the other, but we're guaranteeing you that we will cast your game.
Yes.
You also get all of the physical merch. So everything that we have, the poster, the pins, the stickers,
yes,
everything that we have, we're just giving it all to you.
Yes.
And then also once I receive that package from Panic, because he's shipping all the rest of the stuff.
Yeah.
The people that have been supporting, say at the $10 mark for 10 months, and it equals $100, we're gonna ship out product to you as well. So just because you can't afford to throw $100 a month, not everybody can do that. It's a lot of money. If you accrue it over a period of time, we will, and we'll talk about that later once we're getting ready to ship.
I have it right here written already, bro.
Oh, well then
it's covered.
Well,
here it is, right here.
Let them know.
I have it written on the Patreon page. If you want to, reference it later on, I've got you covered. It's on the Patreon page. It says physical deliverables notice in bold, all caps. It says, we are in the midst of finalizing send-outs for the technical alpha merchandise up until mid-year 2018. That's what Jeff was just talking about 5 seconds ago. Moving forward, we are limiting the merch to the $100 tier, and also for those who have accumulated $100 of support here on Patreon. For those who haven't directly entered the $100 tier, we ask that you send us a direct message here on Patreon requesting your merchandise with an included full name, address, and phone number. We have made this change because we are now required to ship out of Canada, which has dramatically increased the cost of shipping. And it also simplifies the physical goods handling since Patreon has no real mechanisms in place to deal with them. So exactly how I just said that there,
yep.
We want to be able to send you out stuff if you have supported up to $100 or more without physically being at the $100 tier specifically for a month. But we need you. Unfortunately, we can't chase everyone down. So
it's
we
up
need
to you.
It's up to you if you want it.
Don't get mad at us if you don't just randomly receive it.
It's
just
there.
Reach out and say, hey, I want my stuff.
On Patreon, you send us a message through Patreon. You say, hey, I've reached it. I'm at X amount. I would like to have my merch. Here's my name, address, phone number, whatever. Done.
Bob's your uncle.
Now we have you marked. We can send you your stuff, and you get everything. Before it was different tiers, get like little breadcrumb trail all the way up to a certain tier. Now if you're at $100 or $100 of support in total, you're gonna get the posters, the poster, the pins, the stickers, everything we have. We're gonna get one of everything that we have.
Yep.
In that bundle. So there you go.
There
That's
you
how
have
we're
it.
dealing it. It's the cleanest
It's the best
way
way
that we can do it.
Yep.
And it's also the way that we can do it and not literally end up just losing money on everything we send out.
Correct.
Because it's so
expensive.
Freaking expensive.
It's all
to
good.
ship out
We'll
here.
make it work.
Yeah.
Next one and the last one is Oprah money.
Yes.
And this is the $250 tier. All the spots I do believe are, I don't even know if there's reserve spots or not, but there's 3 people still rocking that shit forever. And basically it's just there because it's there. I mean, you get all of the stuff.
I think it says there because you can.
There you go.
I think that's all I have written down there.
Basically, you have a big dick.
Yeah.
And that's great. And you get all the other stuff. And that's just called the Oprah money in good old LAGTV fashion. We got rid of the $500 and $1,000 tier. We got rid of the $50 tier. We wanted to condense it down. We don't, there's too much going on there.
Yeah.
We wanted to keep it simple. And we just wanted to implement all of the StarCraft related stuff there to keep you guys give you not only the people that are already supporting the Patreon, it just gives you more value. And then we also want to give a reason for the LAGTV community to get involved as well. And ultimately, guys, yes, you're getting some cool stuff, but more importantly, you guys are supporting Adam and I. And we've said this a million times over. We don't make any money off YouTube. I mean, a really good month is like $300.
If we smash it.
And then we split that, which is $150. Let's be real. We can make more than that in a day of streaming. And that's a month of content, not including all of the old content that's on the channel as well.
Yeah.
So it's not a ton of money. So this really does give us a foundation, an actual monthly paycheck that we're going, okay, this is how much money we're going to make. We don't have to rely on, any other outside sources. It just allows us and Adam, or me and Adam Adam and I to get in this room and do this and not have to worry about, I should be streaming right now, or worrying about something else because this isn't lucrative enough. Like, it isn't worth our time.
Yeah.
This is definitely already worth our time, and we're not going to stop regardless. But just know that it really does make a difference, and it helps us out a great deal. So thank you so much, everybody that's been supporting. Hopefully you guys like these changes, and hopefully you guys are going to like all the new StarCraft content that's going to be coming up. We're excited to do it. It's been a long time since we've done it beyond the charity-related stuff, so that'll be fun. And, of course, we're going to be setting up a TV here, and we're going to play around some retro video games, and we're going to make that all available to everybody, right? So go on the Patreon account, patreon.com/LAGTV. Take out 15, 20 minutes of your day and just read through all the stuff, see what resonates with you, and submit your replays. It's all on there. We're ready to go. It's up and running.
We're there.
So go.
We are there.
Run.
Well, actually, there's nowhere to submit your replays yet.
Oh.
Because I didn't post anything for that yet.
Well, shit. Go over there and get ready to
submit. It will be
there.
Start gathering. Start playing.
Get hype.
This is the more get hype.
Get hype.
Start playing. Start accruing good games.
Yes.
And then send us your best when the post is there, because like I mentioned in the middle there, all of this information is listed there as well in the middle of the Patreon page. We don't want people sending like 15 replays a month.
No.
You get a post where you're going to give us your best replay.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, get done, or if it doesn't make the cut, if you get a better one next month, send it. If you don't, send the one you tried last month. It doesn't matter.
And you know what? What's great too is you might get cast 1 month and then get cast again next month. If your replay's good.
Exactly.
Like, that's just we just want the best quality stuff.
Absolutely.
So that we don't want to die while we're doing your games.
Yes.
Because we've almost died in the past.
Exactly.
It's painful.
Sometimes it makes for entertaining things. Sometimes it's just painful. So.
But yeah, thank you so much, and we'll talk more about all that stuff later on. But we just wanted to update you guys that it's all up there and running, and go and check it out.
That's right. But once again, one more time, patreon.com/LAGTV. It is no longer patreon.com/TechnicalAlpha.
It's pretty, too. Go look at all the logos and stuff. Go look at the YouTube channel. It's all nice and pretty.
How do you think we should do the sweater? Should we include the TV, or do we just have the LAGTV with the Life's a Glitch and the color bar like on the breast of like a hoodie?
I don't know. I think you'd probably have to do a poll. You're going to have to ask everybody.
Because I feel like if you have the TV, it might be a little much. Like maybe just the TV on a T-shirt in the middle.
Ooh, that'd be fire.
And then on a sweater, like on a zipper hoodie, you have the LAGTV Life's a Glitch with the bar.
You know what? I like the screen with the controller, like
just
in the middle,
by itself.
But then on the shoulder, you can have the LAGTV and then that little tiny
now
little
we're getting
bar
expensive.
as well. Yeah,
because we're printing in 2 places.
But who gives a shit?
The people that have to pay $50 for a T-shirt.
We're talking about the same people that are putting $250 a month for Patreon. So
that's expensive.
Yeah, but we'll make sure it's good quality. It'll last for a lifetime. Shit, I bought one of those War Council sweaters, dude.
That's true. You're still wearing it.
I wear it all the time. I've got and that shit wasn't cheap, man.
No,
I spent like $60 or something.
And I made it as cheap as I could without. I think I only made like $9 a sweater or some shit.
Yeah.
Because after you were done, and this is only for this little fucking 2 colors.
Yeah.
Little square. Nothing on the back.
Yeah.
Because that added $15.
It's plain.
It's nothing, and it was like, we're gonna now take all of your money.
I spent like $60, and I'm like, Jesus.
Oh, in the States, it's way better too. The shipping was what kills Canada and stuff. In the States, it was like $4.
Yeah.
But up here,
no,
not so much. It's $400. Jeff, there is so much news to talk about. I'm checking out this.
The Patreon link on your Twitch page below is the 404 error page. So
that's because it hasn't been updated yet.
So if you want to go there right now, you got to manually type it in.
I haven't gotten around to it. I updated 120 videos, and 100 Patreon
there you
posts.
Go. There you go.
We're
I
getting
posted
there.
it there for
There you go.
All right.
Yeah,
what's the gaming news?
But thank you for letting me know because I probably wouldn't have thought about it. The gaming news, real long. I'm looking at our list right now. I literally have podcast Patreon changes. We've already covered that.
Yes.
Next, we have Rockstar Crunch Time with Red Dead Redemption, and then after that, it says Segment 2, and it just has a J. That's it.
Okay.
That's all it's listed.
All right.
So we have a very thick with 2 C's podcast for you today, guys.
Woo!
Brace for it.
So much going on.
It's coming. Let's get the less gamey stuff out of the way first, actually. So we lost the somebody in chat's gonna have to remind me of his name because I'm really, really bad right now and I didn't write it down. But the co-founder of Microsoft passed away this week. He was only like 65. Young man, but obviously not a man that worked lightly in life.
No.
Put in several hours.
A little bit of stress.
Paul Allen, that was it, yeah. So Paul Allen, unfortunately, passed away. He was, I believe, I mean, I didn't see him as I'm not like deep into that stuff, but you see obviously Bill Gates everywhere for Microsoft. You didn't see Paul Allen all that much.
That's right.
At least in comparison to
it's like the UFC.
You
see Dana White, but you don't see the brothers.
Yeah, exactly. That actually own
the whatever
the show
yeah.
at that point. Yeah, you can't even think of their names. That's how much they're not
exactly.
at the forefront.
There's usually the face man. Like there's
and
like
there's
the co-creator.
behind.
There's like the face.
Yeah,
and then you've got the guy behind. That's
exactly.
like I don't want to be the face. You do you boo.
You do you,
and I'll do me.
So Bill. A lot of people know how philanthropic Bill Gates is. He's out there
just giving away
shit. Just money. He's one up in Oprah every day of the week. Paul Allen also very much into that stuff apparently as well. So he was a big man in trying to make other people's lives a little better around the world. So yeah, unfortunate loss. But there you have it. We still have Bill though. Bill hasn't gone.
Bill, and Bill's
still here.
Bill's a good dude. So
and Steve Ballmer's still around. So there's always that hope that before Steve retired, you know what? I see Steve Ballmer retiring. And he does one more Microsoft keynote, and he gets out there and he just chants developers.
Developers.
I need Bill up there doing the awkward, like, I can't even replicate it.
No.
And I'm white.
Because it's weird.
And I can't replicate it.
This is very weird.
But bless Bill. What an absolute hero. Oh, we got a quote here. Allen was the founder of the Allen Institute for Brain Science, Institute for Artificial Intelligence, Institute for Cell Science, and Stratolaunch Systems. He gave more than $2 billion to causes such as education, wildlife, and environmental conservation, and the arts, healthcare, community services, and more. So he didn't waste his money.
No.
He spread that around.
And the funny thing is that $2 billion is a drop in the bucket.
Yep.
On the type of money that man likely had.
Yeah, well, yeah, possibly. I don't know, because Bill's giving away
billions. I think
many.
I think he gives away like half of his net worth. Yeah, and it's not
Gone.
a small amount of net worth.
No.
Yeah.
So
you're doing God's work.
Shout outs to Paul.
Doing God's work.
Out there doing the work. So we lost Paul. That was an unfortunate bit. What else? Oh, Twitch. Did you see what Twitch changed that you can have multiple accounts under a single verified email now?
I saw that.
And it was to try and fix, apparently, because Twitch in all of their wisdom, the system without a verified email or whatever, you were literally able to create an account.
Yes.
With somebody else's email.
Yes. Out of thin air.
Yes. How the fuck this deep into the game?
Happens to me all the time. You get these trolls that come in here.
Yeah.
And it's a bunch of racist names and shit.
How does
it's
that
like
happen?
every 2 seconds there's you ban them, but there's a new, you can tell the account was created that same. It literally takes about 15 seconds.
How the hell did they not? How does a loophole that big?
I don't know.
First of all, I never understood how many websites have you gone to in this day and age where you've been able to go to the website. I'm gonna get myself a little more comfortable here. Where you'd go to the website and it doesn't ask you to verify your email.
It's rare.
I actually get scared when it doesn't ask me to. There's two things that scare me when I sign up to a website. It doesn't ask me to verify my email after I just sign up. Or when it asks me to input my email, there isn't two fields for me to put my email in because then I get paranoid that I didn't put my email in right. or my password.
That's true.
If there's not 2 password fields, I'm rewrite my password 15 times because I'm like, I definitely fucked that up.
Yeah, and then you
No,
just
I
can't even get
definitely
into
fucked
your account.
No, and then you're doomed.
Yeah.
So, I don't understand why that didn't happen, sooner, but now they have that. But I don't understand why they added the multiple accounts under one verified email, because now all it means is that a troll who can easily verify their account can do the exact same shit
Multiple
can
times
make
now.
a whole bunch of names, waste a bunch of names on the website for literally no good, without having to go through the extra step of creating another email account, whether it's a throwaway email or not, of which there are ways for websites to tell if you're using a throwaway email, but I don't know if Twitch is using them yet, and just commit the same bullshit all over again. One account for one verified email. You can't have another one until you close out the account that's already on said email. 2FA, enforce the shit on absolutely everyone.
Yes.
Everyone has a cell phone now. It doesn't fucking matter. Make it happen.
Yep.
You have an app on your computer that you've been trying to make people want to use forever.
Make them use it.
Link it 2FA to the fucking thing on your desktop so you don't have to use a cell phone for like the 4 people living in, Zimbabwe on Twitch. Like, just
I'm with you.
I don't know what they're doing. So anyway, I don't know what they're trying to accomplish, but they did something. I don't know. But if you ban somebody, to my knowledge, and they create another account under the same verified email,
they can still talk.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, they should.
So what
they
is this
should
accomplishing?
They should at least make it so that when you ban them, it bans that email that's associated with that account.
All
the accounts.
If you're going to go this route and say that one account can have multiple.
Yeah, well, it's ridiculous. I mean, even not even troll wise, right? Just say there's just regular people watching your stream, right? And they're not on a mission to like make an account every 2 seconds, but they're just trolling, or they say something that offends you, and you just ban them. You don't like them on your chat.
Yeah,
they're arguing with other people. You ban them.
Yeah,
they can just go ahead on the same email and just make a burner account.
Yeah,
and come right back into the conversation and start shit. And then when you ban that one, they can keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. At least when it's just one count per email that is verified, it forces them to make it. It's another step that they have to take.
Yeah.
That is there to the point where there's like, all right, it's not even
You're
worth
at least filtering out levels of troll,
Yeah.
right? Because there are people that will go to the ends of the earth, and you're never going to stop them.
Yeah.
But you can filter out a lot of the base level shit.
Yep.
Working your way up.
Yep.
By just implementing some of the most standardized practices in the industry.
Yeah.
That apparently we haven't hit
And you
yet.
can't even use the excuse that like, oh, we're trying to make it as easy as possible for people to sign up on the site and get right in the action. It's like, you know what, dude?
Tough shit. They're used to it everywhere else.
It's used to it everywhere else, and it's Twitch. I mean, most people already have an account. Nobody's complaining. Like, when have I seen somebody on Twitter or on a forum or anywhere or at a TwitchCon ever complain about it's too hard to make a Twitch account? Ever. I've literally you know what I've heard? I've heard it's too easy.
And this doesn't change that at all.
No, it doesn't improve it at all. In fact, it makes it
a bit
worse.
easier.
Yeah, it makes it worse for the streamers. It makes it easier.
It's
anyway, it is what it is. Before I go on a rant,
yeah,
it is what it is. It's stupid, but
it's
sure.
a really.
Hopefully they'll fix it. Maybe
it's a really half-assed.
Yeah, Twitch has done things in the past where they've just kind of rushed things out without really thinking much, and then they've fixed it. So hopefully, the content providers will speak up a little bit and say, "Listen, man, what's the point of even banning anybody at this point? Just let them run rampant."
People just camp names.
Oh, dude,
like their websites.
Dude, every day I have people come in with racist names.
Yeah,
and then you ban them, and then it's just another racist name. Over and over and over again. It's ridiculous.
But Jeff, that's why you have moderators.
Yeah, sure.
Use your auto mod more effectively.
Auto
mod, roll out.
Roll out.
So yeah, that happened. What else happened this week?
In games?
In
nothing
game,
really.
Or anything.
I mean, Call of Duty.
Call of Duty 4 dropped. I've been playing. I've played like 20 hours of it, maybe.
I haven't even bought it yet. I haven't
maybe
downloaded
15.
it, but I didn't buy it.
Yeah, it's a battle royale, Jeff. At least the part I'm playing. There's more to this game.
Yeah. There's zombies.
Than the battle royale. There's a zombies mode,
which
and
I hear
is
really good.
The standard, usual multiplayer fare.
Yes.
That's been in Call of Duty forever, right?
Yes.
deathmatch stuff, the whatever. So there are multiple parts to this, and obviously I'm only in it for the battle royale part of it. I'm not in it for the zombies thing. I've never been a fan of the zombies thing. I know it's good. It's just zombie mode's not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
I have heard very good things about the zombies mode. The only two things I've heard people talk about are zombies and the battle royale mode. I haven't heard a lot of people talking about the standard multiplayer mode.
I think the multiplayer will be played more as time goes on. I think
Probably.
once the novelty of the battle royale and people go back to Fortnite.
Yeah.
I think the battle royale is going to do well. I think that battle royale is going to help Call of Duty a great deal on Twitch to make it one of the top games played, and there'll always be a spectating aspect to it.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately the I don't want to say the bread and butter, but I still think the core that are addicted to the multiplayer are still going to play the multiplayer.
Yeah.
I just think the battle royale brings in a new
I think the battle royale is
flow of people and old people that used to like the game that are back to play it and that are enjoying Call of Duty for the first time in many years.
for sure.
So
I think the battle royale is a more PC centric deal for Call of Duty anyway.
Yep.
The numbers might say differently, but I think over time you would think that the console side would err closer to the zombies and the standard multiplayer, and then the PC guys that have been used to playing PUBG and Fortnite or whatever battle royale games, they're gonna gravitate towards the battle royale segment of it. And that's when people come into the chat and they ask me, so how good is this game? Is it worth the money? I instantly know that they're only interested in the Battle Royale mode.
Yeah.
Because if they were interested in more than the Battle Royale mode, they'd probably already own it because they're already Call of Duty fans that want zombies or they want, the other shit. And there's so many people interested in hopping in just for the Battle Royale mode. My opinion of it is that for whatever it's worth, whatever this phrase is worth to anyone listening, it's the least broken Battle Royale game.
it is. It's good. It's a solid game.
That is the most shining statement that I can give about Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Blackout mode. It is the elite. It doesn't mean it isn't broken.
No.
I've had loads of games where people that are on my team just drop out entirely. I've had the game just outright crash multiple times, and other people multiple times just crash. Game won't even start for some people. You can't join on friends. You can't get into groups. It literally it feels like PUBG about a year ago in terms of how often the game crashes, how difficult it is to get people into your group, and those kind of errors. The experience in the game itself, obviously it's very fluid, it's very good. I would love to know what the tick rate is now, because during the beta it was like 16 milliseconds, which is
bad,
even worse than PUBG.
Yeah.
And like I've said before, in any comparison, there should be 0 points on the scale here where you are meeting or below PUBG. Pretty much every metric, you should be above PUBG at this point in the game, given how much money you've got to make a Call of Duty game.
Yeah.
There should be nothing holding you back for that. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Things that I've noticed is that in solos or in duos, because it is a Call of Duty game, it's very fast-paced. You run like a Kenyan. You slide.
Our Patreon, 1 second here. Our Patreon just blew up, by the way. It went up a significant amount.
Let me guess. Mr. Miyagi.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't have access, but I just refreshed the page there, and shit got real. So
yep, that looks like a Mr. Miyagi to me.
Yeah.
We are now $113 away from Retro Versus being unlocked for the month.
Damn.
I don't even know.
I didn't mean to
just
cut you off mid.
No, it's all good. That's a good reason.
That was a good reason.
I'm just going to preemptively thank Mr. Miyagi because I'm guessing that was him.
I don't know who it was because I don't have access to it, but whoever it was,
thank you.
God damn.
Well done.
Let's go.
That's a 500 right there.
Woo! Was it 5?
Yeah.
Woo!
4 or 5 anyway.
Woo! Shit.
Just like the Call of Duties of the past, run super fast, you're sliding around, all the guns are bullet hoses. Every single one of them's a bullet hose. They all sound like submachine guns.
Yeah, I know.
Every fucking one of them.
Yeah.
The problem that you run into there means that in solos and duos more than in squads, like mid-long and long-range combat doesn't fucking exist. Even though you're on this big-ass map. And there's lots of in-between space where there's no buildings or anything, and you're running around. The only way you really effectively engage is with a sniper rifle. That's it. Because you don't do enough damage quick enough with a standard rifle and a 4x scope to kill somebody because they're running like Kenyans. And they can get to cover, or it's really hard to peg them because the ballistics in the game are also a bit shaky. Like, I'll have a 3-burst rifle that's supposed to be like the equivalent of like an AUG in real life, and the bullet drop stops by the time the bullets get from me to you. And so you're like fucking... It's like every gun's a mortar. You're like shooting the bullets up in the fucking air, and you're like...
Well, it's because Call of Duty is a multiplayer close range.
Exactly.
And all they did was they kept the same core
and just put it on a big ass map.
Made it big. So it's almost like having like 100 different small maps all into one,
which is what they did.
Yes.
Like there's zombie areas, there's Nuke Town,
and it's not a problem. Like it's just a different style of battle royale, which is good, which makes it their own.
It's just frustrating because you want to. If you've played any other battle royale,
especially for you that played PUBG,
you have a 7.62 fucking rifle or 5.56, and you have a 4x scope on it.
Yeah.
The scopes are in the game.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what else you're going to use them for. And somebody's at like 300 yards, and you're trying to and you should be theoretically hitting them 5-7 times, even with armor. You should be good. But armor is so good in the game, you need a 2-shot sniper rifle, or don't bother. And then it becomes this weird gentleman's game. Like in the 1800s, everyone lined up in a row and like loaded their muzzles, and everyone and then fire! And the guys in the front were like, well, fuck, right? Yeah. Okay, so it's like that, except you both kind of had the idea that you need to be closer. Yeah. So nobody's shooting, you're just sprinting towards each other. Like Kenyans. And you're like occasionally sliding in case the guy stops to shoot. You're like sliding, you gotta get closer. Yeah. But the one place that breaks down is in squads. And the reason for that is because there's so many people with bullet hoses that even if they only hit you occasionally, the fact that 4 people are hitting you instead of 1 or 2, you're still gonna die. Yeah. So when I started playing squads the other day, I couldn't win a game to save my life in solos or duos. Couldn't fucking do it. We got into a game of squads. We won our first match right off the rip. Won another one like 2 games later with ease. It wasn't even difficult because it was all these guys who were used to Call of Duty, and we got a 4-man squad that is used to PUBG and other games where you actually have to use tactics and you have to be at a range, and we dummied everyone.
Dumpstered them.
It was bad. And we had no armor. We had like barely good weapons, and it didn't matter. So. And it's because everyone was like awkwardly shooting, and it was more like mortars. It was like fucking firing bullets up into the air, and you're just watching them go. And so I think that squads are quite good, but the other negative of the game is that because everything's so fast, bringing a teammate back up is like 3 seconds. So if you have 4 people on a team, if you don't like simultaneously kill at least 3 of them, you better hope that you have 3 or 4 grenades to just nuke everyone from orbit, because they will be back up before you can Kenyan your ass over there to finish the last guy. Yeah. They're all back up again, and you're fucked. So it's like this really weird, awkward mishmash. You can definitely tell that they literally just rammed Call of Duty directly into the fucking genre. And just said,
for sure. They definitely did.
Here's our battle royale, and so it has moments where it shines like a Call of Duty game does, has moments where it doesn't. So the answer for those asking, is it worth the full ticket price for just the battle royale segment? The real answer is, do you like Call of Duty? Yeah. Because if you don't like Call of Duty, the odds of you having an enjoyable experience, pretty slim. And then the other thing is, of course, just like other battle royales, there are some gimmicky thing or some weird things. Like, it's not optimized to save its life. My rig can't do 1080p 60 at all times. I could turn everything to low. It doesn't matter. And I've got an overclocked 5820K and a 980 Ti.
Your dick's big.
It's okay. No, well, these days, that's an above average dick.
Okay.
All right. But it's for 1080p. It's a big dick.
Yeah, it's a big.
It should be fine.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah.
It should be more than fine, but it isn't, and it drops down to some frame drops. The other thing is, it sounds like every gun for audio was recorded inside of a pillow fort. Everything just sounds like a wet fart. Like they're firing just Like everything's a wet fucking fart in the game.
Like
and so when you'll get in these weird situations, I would kill a guy. This happened not yesterday, day before. It was in this small little area with some single-story houses. I kill a dude with a shotgun. The only gun in the game that sounds half decent is the pump shotgun. Everything else sounds like a wet fart. Kill a dude with a shotgun. Guy who I didn't even know was there the whole time. Watch the whole fight. He has an AK, or the game's equivalent. It's a KN-57 instead of an AK-47. Okay. Completely stock. No suppressor, no anything on it. He's 15 feet from me. Full auto was into my back. On my stream, it sounded like flies taking a shit in Africa. He's 15 feet from. I had no idea where the guns were coming from. That was it.
Game over.
And I was dead. And I go to my kill cam, and on his screen, it was fucking like gang. And I was like, what the fuck is this? It's so weird. So yeah, if you like Call of Duty, you're gonna like it, because guess what? It's Call of Duty. You will adjust though, because it's ballistics. In regular Call of Duty, it's all hit scan. But in the Battle Royale, anyway, I can't speak to the other modes.
Yeah.
It's ballistics. So you will have an adjustment period at the very least. But yeah, it's been good. I've been having a good enough time that I've gone back to it.
There you go.
But it's also, like I said, it's the least broken of the genre.
Battle Royales.
And I don't like Fortnite, so it's really my only choice right now.
There you go.
So
Beggars can't be choosers.
You're waiting for the next one to come along. You're just
Battlefield.
you're sitting on
the
it.
Next one.
That's probably going to be shit.
I have a very big feeling it's going to be garbage.
Bad for sure. In other gaming news, Rockstar came to the forefront again for Red Dead Redemption. They are throwing some big money at advertising now. I can't scroll through Twitter for more than 3 posts without, this is what all of the critics are saying in the latest previews for Red Dead Redemption 2. They're plastering it everywhere, but what came up this week, was that they are obviously in crunch time. Or they were in crunch time, and they continue to be. I don't know if they're, because the game's likely gone gold by now. It comes out this month. They're talking about crunch time, and they kind of like bragged about it, which was an awkward thing, because they were talking about these 100-hour work weeks, and it got everyone talking again, which happens occasionally when big AAA companies come up and they say, look, or people come out and say, I can't work in this environment anymore. We just did 7 straight months, 7 straight months of 80 to 100-hour weeks, and we're not getting paid really any more than we were normally. I've been living on pizza and fucking dreams for 7 months. I haven't seen my wife and kids. I'm dying.
I'm getting a divorce.
I'm getting the fuck out of here.
My life is fucked.
Over because of this shit, right?
Thank you, Red Dead.
And this is what happens a lot of the time. It's not new. It's been this way forever. It's why a lot of people say, when I want to get into the games industry, somebody goes, are you sure you want to get into the games industry? Or are you just kind of like, I sort of want to get. I'm in love with the idea of the games industry, but the reality of the games industry is slave labor. A lot of the time. And that's what we saw here. People started talking about, I have that experience. I've been at Rockstar. It's an absolute nightmare. And they talked it up. What do you think about crunch time? Because this isn't the first time you would have seen it. It's been in the news, gaming news, for like 10, 15 years without question. Do you think that it's something that the employees should just suck it up? It's part of the job to do 6 to 7 months of 100-hour weeks to get a game out? Or do you think it's shitty management and shitty management or management of time by management to even allow it to get to that point? And the onus shouldn't be being placed on these employees who obviously don't want to not do it, because then they're going to lose their job or not get promoted. Like, it kind of puts them in a bit of an awkward position. So what are your thoughts on that level of crunch time?
Well, I'm not gonna go in white knight for the employees.
No, of course not.
Kind of
if you
like,
have a different opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of down the middle-ish, probably swaying a little bit towards not fully being on the side of the employees. Listen. Creating video games, I can imagine, and from what I'm hearing, and from what I've talked to the people that are actually in it, it's not as fun as what you would think. There's a lot of long hours, a lot of grinding, but it's also not the only industry that there are deadlines.
Yeah, of course.
There are the management that are underestimating how much time shit will take, trying to cut corners, not hiring people. Or the right amount of people. So you see this even in regular workplaces.
They're playing the bottom line game.
Exactly. I mean, for Christ's sake, when Kayla was working, they'd have like,
three
people to take care of like 50 patients.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're going, what the hell? And
that shouldn't even be legal.
That shouldn't even be legal.
Yeah.
But at the same time, yes, that is a problem. You can't blame it on the employee. But also, when you're getting into this industry, you got to kind of know what you're getting yourself into. It's no different than the movie industry where, this crunch time, people are making movies, filming for 15, 20 hours at a time, barely getting any sleep, getting paid a little bit more than minimum wage, but they're doing it because it's all they know, and in hopes that they can move up the chain and have a better position down the road. I feel for them. But you know what? I work 80-hour weeks, and I'm not crying about it. Welcome to being an adult. Welcome to real life. I mean, life isn't fair all the time. You're going to be asked to do a lot more. If it really makes you that uncomfortable and you're complaining, then you do something about it. You talk to management about it. You voice your concerns. If you're part of a union, you talk to the union board. You do what you can, you voice your concerns, and if it's too much on you, then it's time to move on to another job. And I know that Jeff, I can't just leave my job. I got family and bills to pay, and what am I going to do? I get that. I'm not saying just quit on the spot, but start to work towards getting out of that industry.
Yeah.
Because the next time, the next big AAA title that Rockstar has coming up, and you're on with it, don't cry when you've got to make GTA 6 and you got to put in 100-hour weeks, because you know that you had to do that for Red Dead Redemption 2 and Grand Theft Auto 5 and whatever other games I had. It's not going to change. So unless you're okay with that and you want to take one for the team and you want to bust your ass, then shut your mouth and do your job, collect your paycheck. There are people out there, you can make the same excuse where there's people out there wishing they had a job that they could work 100 hours a week and get paid for.
Yeah.
There's people out there, it's like, dude, if I had your skills at creating games or people that are in university or college trying to get a degree to get into that field, they would kill to work on such a property like Rockstar and add that to their portfolio. And the fact that you're complaining that you actually have to work a lot, then it can you can see both sides. Like, I get it. It's a high stress. There's a lot of pressure. There's deadlines. You probably got some fucking white collared asshole up at the top. Where there's another bigger white-collared asshole yelling at him saying, motherfucker, we need to get a working beta. E3's coming. We need to do this. We need to do that. The trailer needs this change. What the fuck? We found this bug, and now you got to go and reprogram, the last 7 months of work. Get it done yesterday, right?
Yep.
And I get that.
Yeah.
But that's the environment you're in, and that's the line of work. Shit happens. I feel for those people that are really, they're making sacrifices in their lives and stuff. But at the end of the day, they're being paid. It's the career they chose. And if you don't like it, move on. Yeah. Somebody will take that job.
Of course.
And somebody will appreciate it.
Of course.
That's how I personally feel.
Yeah.
But I'm not being not sympathetic to their situation.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I'm not going to white knight for them either.
Yeah.
It works both ways, but I'm still more on the side of it's your job. Get it done.
Yeah. So I agree with pretty much everything you said. What I do with, it's never going to happen, but I think in an ideal situation, there would be some scope is the problem, right? I mean, you're talking about, when I hear about such epic crunch time for this game, and then I hear about them, actually somebody took, I don't care if it was 15 minutes or 50, but somebody took time that could have been used somewhere else to program horse testicles to shrink in the cold. Is that integral to anyone's fucking gameplay experience?
No.
At all.
No.
Even from a novelty standpoint, you get a brief chuckle about it, and then if you think about it, somebody had to fucking work on making horse testicles fucking shrink. And you stop and you go, maybe the scope, little too big. Claw that bad boy back a little bit. You know? It's one thing to... What like sometimes happens, you get in these situations where you have the white collar guys, or you have a visionary type that's at the top. You have a Todd Howard.
Yeah.
You have a
Star Citizen.
You have the Star Citizen, Chris Roberts. You have Fable, Peter Molyneux. You have a guy at the top that's like that, and he says, you know, he comes down, and it is a management style. I just had this conversation with a buddy on Discord like yesterday, day before yesterday. There's a management style where you literally go into the office and talk to your employees, and you say, "All right, guys, this is what we're gonna do." And I'm pretty sure that Elon Musk does the same shit. Where he goes in and you go, "All right, this is what we're gonna do," and it is some wild shit. It is stuff that nobody would ever fucking think that they could pull off. But you have two options when you have employees sometimes. If you went in and just said, all right, guys, what do you think you guys can do here? You're depending on the employee to step up and actually push themselves to go above and beyond.
Yeah.
I'm not saying go above and beyond and work 100-hour weeks for 9 straight months, but you know what I mean.
But do more than what the bare minimum
you come
asks
in,
for them.
and then you know damn well going in as the management. If you go in and do that with people, they're not going to hit what you just went in and said.
No.
But that's not the idea.
No.
The idea is to get them above their mediocrity and strive for that thing. So they're not going to hit it, but they might get 80% of the way there.
And that's good.
And that 80% of the way there is a lot better than if you went in and said, hey, guys, let's see what we can do, and left them to their own devices.
Yep.
And so that's fine. But when they get to that point and then you go in and go, all right, well, unfortunately, we're going to have to work slave hours for the next 9 months straight because your 80% isn't enough. I want to actually get to that 100%. Now I want to blame management because this game, if you took off that 20%, I'm guaranteeing you would sell just as fucking well than if they went the rest of the way, and they would likely have better end quality on launch date. There's a reason why these games have 50 gig patches 3 days after the fucking game launches, and it's because the employees are literally dead. They're fucking dead at their desk. You're Bob Barker with marionette strings. Come on down. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right.
Playing Plango.
Oh! Like, that's basically it. So, you know, ideally you get in that situation, you know, it's like, who's the fucker that came down and had it's Sony and had the Walkman, that big ass fucking like Walkman or some shit, and said, all right, I want this, but I want it to go in my pocket now. And the employees were probably like, what the fuck is this guy smoking? And then eventually you had somebody, you know, Steve Jobs come in and go, this iPod, this is like the size of the first iPod, except it was about 5 inches thick. I want this, but I want it this big. And everybody went, the fuck are you doing, bro? You can't, do you know what you're asking for right now? Not pause. But it's the thing that you strive for, and they eventually get there, right?
Yep.
That's not what we're seeing here. We're seeing the 80 isn't good enough, I need 100, and you're going to literally die to get there. And it is obviously, the onus is partially on the employees to either unionize or stand up for themselves or change careers if possible. It's not always possible.
Not always
but like
possible,
you said,
yeah.
you have to you have to roll with the punches a bit sometimes. But it is frustrating to see that in an industry that has had so much time to figure this shit out, where crunch time just became... It did become a badge of honor, where it's like, I survived this fucking 6,000 hours in 3 months, you know, type shit, this inhuman work schedule. Like, yeah, cool. They're not entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
They're not working for themselves.
Yeah.
They're working for some white collar fuck. They're supposed to be a 9 to 5 job or maybe an 8 to 7. And now it's like a 6 in the morning until fucking 3 in the morning the next day, and they sleep for 3 hours, and then they wake up and they get injected with coffee right into their dick, just main vein, straight in, trying to get caffeine to wake them the fuck up.
That would wake you up.
And keep them going.
Yeah.
It's so like Yes, but I think in this case for me, without necessarily trying to white knight for them, but to just bring some reality to the management,
I feel it.
Is that the management should probably just figure this shit out. Because let's be honest, on Twitch, fucking marbles on stream took over a huge portion of Twitch as a secondary thing where people just flood in to play fucking marbles. It looks like a fucking $5 game, and I don't mean in terms of what it sell it for. That's the budget for the game. Went up, and people are storming in to play marbles on stream. And now we're worried about, can we take this 80% of Rockstar fucking epic over-the-top $300 million monster and just calm the fuck for 5 seconds? And maybe take that 20% and shift it into the next title and sell the same 50 million copies that we're gonna sell.
No, I feel you. I think also with Rockstar is there's a lot of pressure and there's a lot of expectations for this game, and they did it to themselves. The first game is I guess the first couple games is good, but the last one was really, really good. I think the first one was Rover. I have
Red Dead Revolver.
Red Dead Revolver.
Yeah, which was like the precursor. I don't even think it's like directly related, but it was the same kind of idea. It's Red Dead Revolver. Yeah.
Yes, I do have it up there. But yeah, I mean the last one was so good, and with the monstrous success of Grand Theft Auto 5, I just think there's just a lot of pressure for them to just deliver a masterpiece.
I think the online segment is more pressure than because of how much money.
Yeah.
GTA 5 made on the online segment.
Yeah. I mean, who knows, right? I mean, who knows what's really going on back there? I believe what people are saying about Rockstar. It makes sense, the amount of hours and probably the amount of pressure and stuff that's being put on the employees. And I also think, with the firing of all the stuff that went on with the Telltale games, I think it's been a perfect storm for this sort of news. I think that if this came out 3 months ago, it wouldn't be as big of news, but since the game's about to be released, I almost think Rockstar exactly. I think Rockstar came out almost like braggadocious on.
Well, they did.
We're listen, guys, we're putting in 100-hour weeks. It's like, no, we don't want to hear that.
No.
Because in the minds of a lot of people, it's like once again, I keep going to the movie business because this is what I know, but it's like hey, we're finishing up the new Avengers, and guys, we're putting in 100-hour weeks here to finish up the Avengers before this release. It's like, whoa, that doesn't come off like a good thing, because it comes off like you've either fucked something up before, or you're rushing to get this done for it to be on time. It's like the management is not, there's something fucky going on there, and that usually means a bad thing. Or we're doing a bunch of retakes. We're reshooting a bunch of scenes.
Yeah.
That's usually code for things aren't going the way we wanted them to go, or we're not happy with what we had before, and we feel like we need to change things.
Exactly.
And I think Rockstar made a big mistake coming out and saying those things. They should have just shut up. The game's about to be released.
Just let it happen.
And then, and now if the game is bad in any way, or there is major glitches,
they're going to be all over.
Oh, man, people are going to just throw this in their face. I guess you should have done 200-hour weeks then, morons. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be, it's going to be, you should have released this when it was ready. So even more expectations now. Even more people are going to be looking at Rockstar and Red Dead. I think it's going to do great. I think... I'll be honest, I'm not overly excited for the game, and I probably won't even buy it.
I'm not particularly excited about it.
But
myself.
Hey, you know what? I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah.
And you never know. I did enjoy the first one. I'm just kind of over it.
Yeah, that was me. I thought I got my Red Dead experience in Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
So I'm not like super jazzed. I'm more interested in how Rockstar-y is this game. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm sure the cutscenes are going to be great. I'm sure the voice acting is going to be incredible.
It'll all be top-notch.
The story, everything's going to be good. It's more Rockstar. It's the Grand Theft Auto in the Wild Wild West.
You know what one of my concerns is? I actually think the game's going to have too much. I think it's going to be too dense for people.
Might be. I also think a lot of people are addicted to these games and love them so much that even if it isn't the greatest thing since sliced bread, people are going to say it's the greatest thing since sliced
Well,
bread.
that was like
You know what
my
I mean?
opinion of Grand Theft Auto 4. Everyone was giving it 10 out of 10. Said it was like the greatest game ever fucking made. I thought it was the most overrated game in history. You know, yay, cousin, let's go bowling. Like, how many fucking times do I need to hear that before I can just shut him up permanently? I shouldn't be able to kill him.
So, long story short, well, I feel bad for the workers, but at the same time,
that's rough.
you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's all about, I guess, the workers now is what they do after this.
Yeah.
And you know what's nice about all of this is since Rockstar got so much backlash for this, I'm sure that for future titles, there's going to be a conversation among the employees and the management, if not already, talking about people being overworked or not being compensated correctly for the time that they're putting in if they're on salary or they're not getting bonuses or whatever the case may be. I think there's going to be some discussion now if they're smart, so that the employees don't feel too empowered to go out on forums or Twitter and complain, because ultimately it does hurt the brand and potentially sales if this continues to happen for future games. So some good might actually come out of this, and maybe there'll even be a standard at some point that, hey, you know what, if you're working past so many hours, you're getting double time and a half, or you're getting whatever to make up for the amount of sacrifice that you're putting in of your own personal life and your health to make up for the lack of management and control of what the managers have to get things done at a proper rate so that people aren't literally killing themselves or using black tar heroin to cope with the amount of work that they have to do on a weekly basis.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and there is, just to cap it off, there is something to be said about not, some of those employees super passionate about their job and about the project, and so it may not bother them. It doesn't mean all of them, but there I did see discussions around that on social media where it was like, well, maybe these people want to work that hard to get it done, or they want to polish it because they feel proud of it. It is possible.
Yeah. And there's probably a good portion of them that do feel that way, where they take an extreme amount of pride in their work, and they're like, man, I'm a perfectionist. I want to get this fucking right.
Get it right.
That pixel doesn't look right. The way that character moved just wasn't right. And they'll bust themselves for it, right?
Yeah.
It's no different than you doing a LAGTV logo. You'll
You'll
sit there and get it done. You
Absolutely.
might be fucking tired as hell and spent way too much time on it, but you did it right, and it makes you feel good. And the whole world is going to play this game. This isn't some, marbles game.
No, this is everyone's playing
this
this
is
game.
Red Dead, right?
Everyone's playing this game.
Everyone's playing this game.
For
so
sure.
you want to put your best foot forward, and sometimes that's at the expense of your time. But unfortunately, it sounds like they weren't given enough time to get all of that, what you were talking about, all of those expectations met.
Exactly.
So it is what it is.
The expectations being, we need to get this 100% of the way there, and not like
80 or 90.
80 or 90 is
It's
not
100
good enough.
or nothing.
It's 100. Yeah, it's 100 or get out. That's pretty much all we have for gaming.
Play in the chat. Let's go.
That's literally about all we have for gaming.
That's
bro.
it. Hey, we
there's
talked quite a bit anyway.
There's literally like nothing going on at all.
That's all right.
Mr. MaximusBlack.
Yeah.
Hit me up with the sound of movies and TV.
Movies, TV.
There's a little soul in that one.
I had to.
I liked it. I liked it a lot.
I'm a little tired, so.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm just having one of those weeks. Well, we had a lot of rain too. Like, I was like, are you like me? Like, you wake up if it's raining and you can't wake up.
Fuck.
Like, you're just tired the whole day.
Yeah.
You could have slept for 12 straight hours like a baby.
It is true too. Like in the middle of the summer when it's super hot and sunny out and it's early and you like wake up, it's like 8:30 in the morning. You're like, I can get out of bed right now.
I can do that now
and start my day because it's fucking sunny and. I'll stand outside and the dog's running around and it feels good.
Hits?
The rain, it's like, fuck this. I'm not going outside. I don't want to get up.
You feel heavy. Like you're like,
yes.
You feel drained.
That is the truth.
This whole week has been kind of like that. Let's hit into that tech support. There are 20 questions.
Dude, we didn't talk about any movies or news.
We just did the
jingle.
I just skipped
and then
right over it. That's if we want to talk about how tired we are. That's where I'm at right now. Okay.
Fortunately,
I don't have any. I have J written down for a second too, so I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
All right.
So
okay.
Men in Black 4.
Okay, no, I'm gonna get. There's like 3 things that I have here.
Yes.
Very quickly, Sylvester Stallone was doing a 5th Rambo movie.
Right. Yes. Called The Last Blood.
He completely axed that film.
What?
And now he's doing it as a standalone movie.
What?
So now I don't think it's going to continue the Rambo that he's always done.
Okay.
Now he's doing a standalone Rambo film.
And it's no longer called Last Blood.
I don't. It doesn't say. It just says Sylvester Stallone scrapped Rambo 5 story, becoming a standalone movie now. So I don't know what that means. Perhaps it continued on from the last one. Maybe that story, he's just letting that die, and now he's doing the last standalone Rambo movie.
Does that mean he
it's
wants
not
to
Rambo
do more?
5?
Like, does that mean he wants to do more after this?
I hope not.
He's like 73 years old.
And he's starting to look 73.
Yeah.
He's starting to look it.
Steroids can only take you so far.
Yeah. So I don't know what that means, but I thought I'd bring that up.
Okay.
Halloween is out, which I might actually go see tonight.
Oh yes, right. Yeah.
Beginning good reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. It is, I didn't even check, it's 80% on Rotten Tomatoes from the critics, which is pretty good for a horror movie.
Horror has been doing well lately.
It's been a good couple of years.
Yeah,
for
horror's
horror.
been having a good time.
So there's that. I'm gonna go and check that out. I haven't seen any other movies in theater. We talked about Venom last week and A Star Is Born.
Yes.
I did. I saw First Man, the Ryan Gosling First Man on the Moon.
You went to see that?
I went and saw that in
How was
IMAX. It's a movie that it doesn't need to be seen in theaters, but if you're going to see it in theaters, go see it in IMAX because
is it Oscar bait?
Yes, it is, but I don't think many Oscars will be won. I think it's got a chance for cinematography. There's Ryan Gosling's wife in the film does an incredible job, so I think she might get nominated for Best Supporting Actress.
Okay.
But beyond that, Ryan Gosling was good as always, but it wasn't like a masterful performance from him, and I think that's mainly because of Neil Armstrong's character.
Yeah.
But it was a good movie. And that's also 88% on Rotten Tomatoes, so people seem to like it.
Hey,
it's
not bad.
doing relatively well.
Great.
Don't rush out and see it, but it's worth a watch. It's a bit of a longer movie.
If you can see it at some point, it's worth seeing.
Yeah.
You just don't need to see it in theaters.
Yes, there's better movies out, in my opinion. But yeah, what else was there? Oh, funny little thing. So Solo, a Star Wars story. Did you end up seeing that one yet?
No, not yet. We almost watched it one night.
Okay, it's really good. I actually liked it a great deal.
Okay.
I liked it a lot more than The Last Jedi.
Okay.
But there's this thing that you guys can go search on YouTube. It's called Solo, a derp fakes story.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And basically what they did is there's this AI or whatever, this program that digitally put on Harrison Ford's face over the actor Eldrin's face, and it's not for the whole movie, but they did some scenes.
Oh no!
It looks so good. Like it. People are like, I wish I could watch the whole movie with this.
Seriously?
It looks, dude, it's kind of creepy. It's almost like, because there's a lot of this technology coming out now where they're able to take people's faces and like digitally age them or
of course.
completely change the face, and it looks real. We've seen it in some movies already.
Yeah. Interstellar did it.
Interstellar did it. Even Star Wars did it with the fuck, I forget his name. One of the bad guys, and he died, and so they put his face in there. But anyway.
Oh yeah, no, I know who you mean. Yeah.
And they're doing it in a Captain Marvel, where they're digitally de-aging Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, yeah, de-aging.
De-aging,
yeah.
So there's this really cool thing. Yeah, Tarkin. There it is.
Yeah, Tarkin,
in Rogue One. It's called Derp Fakes.
Deep fakes, not derp fakes.
DERP.
Is it derp fakes?
I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, okay. So it's supposed to be it's a play on deep fakes, which is another thing entirely, which is like celebrities getting superimposed on porn bodies.
But this is called derp fakes.
Derp fakes.
Derp fakes.
They know what they're doing.
So yeah, if you guys want to go check it out, it's got almost 500,000 views now. It just came out. It's really, really good. I just watched it before the podcast.
That's pretty cool.
It's actually really cool because you're seeing him. And you can also tell how well the actor did as Harrison Ford with his body movements, and then when you put on Harrison Ford's face, and when he's mouthing the words, like sure, you're hearing the actor speak it, so it looks a little weird because you know what Harrison sounds like, but they also made it so that he's actually mouthing the words as well.
Oh, okay.
And it blends in really nicely. You can't tell. Like it's cool.
That's pretty wild.
But anyway, they did that, and there's a lot of love for that Derp Fakes video. So I just thought that was cool. If you guys want to go check that out.
Yeah, give that a look.
And I wanted to bring up The Haunting of Hill House.
Yes, which I've watched one episode and you've watched seven.
Yeah, so Kayla and I are going to finish this series over the next 24, 48 hours. If you guys don't know, there's a Netflix new series. It's a horror series called The Haunting of Hill House. And I'm a huge horror movie buff. I love being scared. I love scary stuff. I just like it. It's not of like a gory, stab 'em up type thing.
No,
like Halloween or Jason.
It's a
suspense thriller, psychological, paranormal type thing. I will say it is probably the best Netflix series I have, like an original Netflix series I have ever watched. In fact, I'm gonna go on a limb, and I'm not even done it yet. It is probably my favorite Netflix series ever made. Not only are the actors and actresses really, really good in it, the children actors and actresses are phenomenal in it. The suspense is great. The budget seems to be like, it's either they've done such a good job with what little money they had, or they actually had a decent budget for this film, because it's basically like watching The Conjuring, but instead of you knowing that there's going to be typically a beginning, middle, and end within a 2-hour period, you've got over 10 hours to get invested with all of these characters in the story, and it just builds, and they do such a good job at it's an actual binge watcher. It's one of those ones where once you get to about episode 3, and once you get to that third, it's usually what it takes for like good show. It's like 3 episodes. Like first episode, okay. All right, second episode's like okay, and then the third episode's like
you're locked in.
I need to know what I need to know what's going on.
Absolutely.
So last night, Kayla and I, we watched I think 3 episodes the first night, and then 4 episodes the first night, and then 3 episodes the next night.
Marathon.
Yeah, we were up till like 4 a.m. each night. It's been so good, and I'm the type of guy now that goes in bed by like midnight, 1 a.m. And I'm like laying in bed getting ready for sleep.
Of course.
This has me up. And Kayla's had nightmares 2 nights in a row.
Let's go.
Last night, she woke up screaming. So, that's how scary the show is. I've seen scarier shows, but it's really not shows. I've seen scarier movies.
Yeah.
But it's still really, really creepy. It's the type of shit that, like, if you're watching it alone, like we've got the nice TV and the surround sound, and we're down here in the dark basement. If I were to go up to the room by myself, it's the type of thing where you'd look in the closet, right? or you do a double take, or you look in the shower curtain, right? It's that type. So if you haven't watched it yet, go and see it. And yesterday, episode 6, it was such a masterful episode on just the filmmaking, and there's this beautiful long and in this you'll notice there's these long takes, these long cuts where they're not cutting. It's they just do these great pans, and then actors and actresses will move in and move out.
The
and
cinematography
I don't know.
in general, even though I've only watched, we talked about this earlier before the podcast, just the one episode I watched, the standout thing was the cinematography.
It's great. It's so good.
It's so good.
It's so good.
It's kind of staggering how good it is.
It's so good, and the way they filmed it, it's there. I don't want to give too much away because I want you guys to go into it fresh, but just know that if I'm putting my reputation when it comes to taste in shows and movies, if you are into horror, if you love a horror movie, you love a good mystery, you're trying to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Even if you're only halfway into that, I think this show is for you.
This show will be for you. It's really that good. I know I'm talking it up a great deal, but episode 6, Jesus, man, it was so well done that it actually took me out of the show. where I was just thinking about the production of it, where I was just so amazed by how incredible everybody did their part within this like 20-minute piece of this episode. And what's nice is they don't confine themselves to just an hour. They go to whatever allows that part of the story to go. So sometimes there's an episode that's, you know, an hour and 3 minutes. There's one that's like an hour and 8 minutes. There's one that's, you know, hour and 4, hour and 12. They go until you can tell they're not rushing it. You're falling in love or hating characters. It's just that good. So go. The title of the show is The Haunting of Hill House. Go check it out. I don't even know if it's a multi-season thing. I don't know if this is the end. You're going to get 10 episodes, that's the story, and that's the show, or it's going to be such a big hit that they're going to find a way to bring it back in another season. My hopes is you know, there's a character that is basically, he's an author and he tells stories of haunted houses and stuff. I'm hoping that we if they do continue the story, whatever happens I don't know. Maybe everybody dies. I have no idea. But if they do, it would be nice to see other houses and other people's stories, and we can see those. If not, then just do this 10 episode. Let me love this, and then have the same creators work on another show, and I am down to watch it because, wow, it's good.
It's funny because horror movies, we just talked about how horror movies have been doing very well lately, but it's hard to really build characters in a horror film because so much emphasis is on trying to build the scare that you don't get attachments to characters. But putting it in a show format, especially like a 10 episode, 1 hour a pop.
10 hours of these characters.
You get not only do you get the suspense and the thriller stuff and everything, but you also get that character building, which adds something to the horror genre that you almost never get.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of special in that regard. And then to have it be done well on top of all of that is just an extra little cherry.
And it's not one of those. It's not even a slow burn of a show. Like
no,
you get going. As soon as you start watching, it starts.
It gets going.
Yeah. And there are scares and creepy shit in every single episode. It's not like, oh man, 2 episodes of filler like scare me.
Yeah, no.
It's there the whole way through every episode. It's that good. Go and watch that. Other than that, I don't know of any other movie news or shows or anything. That is pretty much it. I just really wanted to talk about that show, and by next week I'll definitely have it all done, and I'll give you my final thoughts, and maybe you'll end up watching a few more episodes by then as well.
We'll have some more to say. All right, now Mr. MaximusBlack.
Yes, it's that time.
Hit me up with the sound of tech support.
Tech support. Tech support.
Thank you. I like the disc jockey moves you also had there at the end. Let's see. Oh, I can answer this question pretty easily. This comes in from Goose. Would you rather be lactose intolerant or gluten intolerant? As somebody who's lactose intolerant and have known people that have a gluten intolerance, lactose intolerant all day, every day, no question.
I'm with you.
Like lactose intolerance has to be really, really bad before you're at the same level of gluten misery that a gluten intolerant person is at.
And it's just more dangerous too. Like you know, there's gluten in a lot of there's it's no thanks.
No thank you.
Whole lot of nope.
Let's see. What tiny inconvenience makes you way angrier than it should? Something real small that just gets you. I've got one. Got a couple. I think I might have said something about this in another answer before. I've got a couple.
If it's anything to do with the car, then we've already heard it.
No.
Okay.
Not the car. Wet, dirty dishes in a sink that I have to take out of the sink. Or if somebody rinses a bowl out or something into the sink, but they don't rinse the sink out afterwards, and now there's food particles laying around.
That's gross.
That shit gets to me. And then the other one is when my hand soap dispenser runs out and I have to go and get the thing and fill the dispenser, I will take extra days where I will stand there and press the pump 48 times to get like the tiniest amount of soap on my hands to wash my hands, just so that I don't have to go into the next room and find the spare big bottle and bring it in and unscrew it and fucking fill her back up, put it in. I will do anything I can. I will use dish soap for a short period of time. If it's in the kitchen, I will avoid it like the plague. So there you go. There's two of them right there.
I'm trying to think of like really small things that irritate me. Okay, so I'll give you two. First one is putting toilet paper on the toilet paper roll. I never ever do that. I don't know if you've noticed in my bathroom. I did.
I actually swap it. I just swap it when I went in there before the podcast.
So like basically, I only ever use basically one bathroom in this house, and that's the one down here in this basement in the studio.
Yeah.
Kayla uses sometimes I take a piss on the main floor in the little powder room.
Mm-hmm.
But the bathroom, the guest bathroom, I've never used, and the bathroom in our bedroom, I've used maybe a dozen times since I've lived here. Kayla mainly uses that bathroom, so if I do use it, there's usually fresh toilet paper on the actual roller. But if you ever go into my bathroom, I never, like, there'll be a roll of toilet paper there, but it's usually empty. So you're not going to get anything from it. And that's from my boys when they're here or whatever, they're using it. I just grab a roll and I just unroll the toilet paper right on there, and I just stick the roll of toilet paper on the sink next to it.
Yep.
Because I just can't fucking stand taking the thing out, putting the old one in the garbage, putting the other thing on there and clipping it in there. Because whenever I do, when I put it in there, when I go to spin it, it just fucking falls down anyway, and I get even more mad. So that's definitely a nitpick for me that I don't like. The other thing that irritates me, and so much so that I actually got mad at Kayla, and I felt kind of bad about it.
Okay, all right.
This happened not the other day. It was probably about, I don't know. This was before she was pregnant. So I would say this was like 4 or 5 months ago. 5 months ago.
Okay.
Sometimes Kayla always makes dinner, and it's thank God she always makes dinner because I'm horrible at cooking. But one thing that she does, and she doesn't do it often, and now since the last time where I actually like got upset about it, which is a douchey thing for me to be upset about.
Okay.
But it was just one of those days, right? She ended up giving me, I don't even remember what it was, but she ended up dishing out, I think it was like a stir fry or something like that.
Okay.
And the stir fry was rice and like little pieces of chicken and some veggies and stuff like that.
Right.
And she gave me a fork with it. And whenever I'm eating like rice and stuff in a bowl, it's hard. Like, not only do I hate the sound of scraping utensils on the plates, but it's hard to get like a good forkful if the bowl isn't like completely filled. So like once I get down to about like 3/4 of it done,
it gets a little difficult.
It's tough to like. I'm almost like scooping it, right?
Yeah.
So whenever I'm given a bowl with food like that, I want a spoon,
right?
Because it just makes it easier for me to eat, and I'm not struggling. So she came downstairs once, and like 5 months ago or so. I wasn't streaming or anything like that. I don't even know what I was doing. I was sitting there, and she came down with food, and there was a fork in the bowl. And I'm going to eat it, and I immediately saw the fork, and I was like, Jeff, this is a stupid thing to complain about. Just eat your damn food. And I went to go do it, and I scraped the bowl, and it made that noise. And I was like, Kayla, I need a spoon, right? And it wasn't like I didn't yell or wasn't angry. I'm not like a douche.
No.
But I was like, it was like one of those things that has happened a few enough times that today was the day where I was like, I need a
straw.
I need a spoon. Like, I can't stand listening to the scraping of this with a fork, and I can't get at this, right? And she could tell I was annoyed, right? And then of course I had to apologize because she wasn't upset or anything, but I was like, sorry. I'm not saying I was mad about it, but I was just annoyed. Like, if you're gonna make me something. And if you're going to plate it, then I would prefer a fork so that I'm not scraping around I can actually pick it up.
Get all the shit out of the bowl.
Shit of it. I don't want to be using my fingers and palming stuff. So
Ethiopian style.
Yeah, so I know it's a douchey thing to complain about, You know, that's how confrontational our household is. You know, there's not much that I complain about around here, but usually it's the super, super small things and it has to build. But that was like, that's sort of a nitpick for me where it's, I need to have a fork if I have a plate and give me a spoon if I'm eating out of a bowl, please.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I'm not, you know, very infrequently do I want to have a fork with a bowl.
Yeah.
Because it's just, you get to a point where you're trying to scoop and you just can't. It's just not made for it.
It's not made
it's
for
not
it.
made. It's not the tool for the job.
It's not.
It's just not the tool for the job. What Muffin asks, what do you love or value most about the Canadian culture, and would you ever want to live in another country, and if so, which country would that be?
The thing I love most about Canadian culture is people are pretty friendly.
On average.
On average. There's
assholes everywhere.
There's douchebags and cucks everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
But for the most part, people in Canada are relatively, I mean, there is a stereotype for a reason, you know? Sorry, eh? You know, like everybody's, you know, people are holding doors. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen in the United States or other parts of the world, but I've traveled to other parts of the world. I've been in a lot in the United States, and maybe it's just I don't live in a big city, so maybe even if I lived in Toronto, the experience would be a little bit different. But a lot of the places, like even in Montreal, which is known to be the snottiest place in Canada, even there, people are relatively nice. I mean, unless you're trying to speak English to someone that's French and they're like Quebecois and they hate everybody.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's an easy way of life. Like people just, I mean, there's exceptions for everything, but people are just usually friendly. You can talk to random people. You're not really scared to walk down the street, or there's no real hoods. You know, you don't really like. There's bad areas, but they're not like ghetto.
Yeah.
It's not like everybody is just kind of
everything's a mild version of.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it. And I don't want to get too political, but I think a lot of it is just the way Canada is designed with free healthcare, and people are just the stress of some of the other things that other people deal with in other parts of the world that are weighing heavy on them.
Yeah.
And it's more of a dog-eat-dog world. I think it's more of sharing here and more of like feeling that everybody deserves.
Everyone's helping
everyone helping everybody else. And sure, there are selfish people and there's people that don't think like that even here in Canada. But I think the vast majority of people is we all been brought up in just a different way that just is a little bit easier to communicate with people, and not everybody is on edge or everybody's out to get everybody type thing, right?
Exactly.
So I would say that, and would I live anywhere else? I mean, I've only ever been to Germany, which was beautiful, but I think Canada is where it's at for me. I just, if I spent more time, maybe if I visited Japan or other parts of Europe or Australia, maybe I could fall in love with those places, but I haven't spent enough time in those places.
It's hard to say.
Hell, I would even live in America in certain parts of the United States if I wouldn't say if given the opportunity, if my circumstances were different. I was not saying I would never live there. I definitely wouldn't now in its situation, but I even like America. I love I really like Las Vegas a great deal. I would definitely at least own a property there and spend maybe a winter or something, winter months or something. California is beautiful. I think that would be a place I could definitely
for now.
But yeah, I mean, Canada over everything, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm biased because I'm Canadian and I've always lived here.
But it's interesting because not everyone would say that though. Like there are lots of people that live in other countries and they'd still prefer to live somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's not that uncommon. But for me, my favorite part about Canada is that we are versus a melting pot culture, we're the mosaic culture. So instead of everyone kind of being encouraged to become Canadian, for whatever that word even means, and have the culture be homogenized or all brought together, instead of that, there is like a high level, what it means to be Canadian. But if you come from another country, as long as you're not breaking the law or hurting other people.
You're good.
You do you. You express yourself the way you want to express yourself. You have a religion. You do what what you want to do, as long as you're inside the lines. And people like that here, and I like that here. It means when you wherever you go, even here out in the middle of nowhere, you go to certain parks and stuff, and you've got like the Sikhs here in Halifax is a pretty big population, and they've got these big family get-togethers I'm always jealous of. I go down to like the walk around the park, and they've got like the biggest potluck barbecue spread. They've been cooking there for 5 hours. They've got so much delicious food. And then right next to them, there's like a whole family of like fucking Chinese immigrants and Europeans. There's a big Dutch contingent, and it's all in this one little park that's like barely, it would be a pimple on parks in the States. And just you have all these people, and they're all together, and the kids are playing together, and everyone's getting the fuck along. But they're all doing their individual things without being under the weight of, I need to integrate into the society specifically, or I'm going to be considered an outcast. That's not the case here. I value that more than anything else in the Canadian, as what it means to be a Canadian. That if there was something to be what it meant to be a Canadian, that would probably be part of it. Is that is being respectful of and interested in and welcoming of other cultures, and not just saying,
not being as judgmental.
If you're here, you better fucking like poutine, motherfucker. Do you like beavers? Too damn bad. You do now, bitch. Toughen up. You don't say sorry enough. The fuck is wrong with you? Maple syrup?
Put a Canadian flag out on your front lawn now.
Exactly. Now.
Get the fuck
out. You don't speak English? The fuck is wrong with you?
I don't like you. I don't like your religion.
Like that.
It happens, but it doesn't. It's not a norm. It's a
small
not
scale.
A norm. It's not a norm.
So that's that's my that's my thing. Would I live anywhere else in the world? It's a hard no. I don't even have to think about it. There are places I want to visit, and I would spend maybe a couple months at a time as an extended visit. But if you're especially right now, and like just no, hard no. Canada, I have the space. I have personal space in Canada. At least now, 20 years from now, probably not going to be the case anymore. But right now, we have the personal space. The culture here is fantastic. People get along more than pretty much anywhere else I've ever heard of from anyone else when they come to visit here. It's the same answer you get from absolutely every fucking person. Rarely do you hear somebody say anything different. We have the cities if you want the cities, but you get away within 15 minutes and you're out in the middle of fucking nowhere and you get nature. And you're not fighting with so much fucking crazy pollution. It's the people, it's the place, it's the culture, it's
Canada.
It's Canada.
It's Canada.
And everyone, like, there are very few places on the earth that are anti-Canada. A short list, and of the people on that list, it's people that hate everyone else anyway. So it's like a misnomer.
Well, I don't even think people hate Canada. I think if anything, we're looked at as like the followers, like the pussies, like the guys that don't have a backbone, right? That aren't like Canada, bitch. Like we're known as like America's hat. You know what I mean? Opposed to being that's the only negative context. And that's
like if our biggest downside is we're considered like the America light. I'm okay with that.
Well, I definitely don't want to be America strong.
No,
or whatever the opposite of light is, heavy.
Heavy.
That's I like a little bit of light. I'm patriotic, but I'm not like American patriotic.
No,
right?
And that's another thing. Like the differences here is that we, the how we express our love for our country is wildly different. It's not to say that other people do it wrong. I just personally, biased or not, I personally enjoy because I never feel like we're overdoing it. I never feel like we're blowing too much smoke up our own ass. It just feels like we just love Canada because it's an awesome place kind of deal, right?
Yep, I agree.
So yeah, that's That's my, but yeah, not living anywhere else. No, places I'd like to visit for sure, but not necessarily for many years. Let's get one more. Since we didn't talk too much about the books this week, Smash Bop asks, I'm glad to hear that both of you are writing a book. Do you remember the exact moment you said to yourself, fuck this, I'm writing a book?
Yes. I've talked about it, I think, already on the podcast. It was when I saw that chick there that's like, you know, the probably the most famous chick on Twitch. Pokelawls or Pokimane or whatever. Pokimane, that's it. Yeah. When I saw her little snippet video that Twitch was promoting over the Twitch campaign that they had on how to become a streamer,
or what it's like to be, or like how, it was like a recruiting. It was like a weird recruiting.
It was a recruiting
deal.
video. Yeah. And then she said something in the vein of play a game, just play a game that you like and have fun, and your viewers will have fun.
Yeah.
And I made this comment there, and it wasn't because I don't disagree with what she said. I just thought it was extremely vague and almost misleading.
Yeah.
So I said, you know, unfortunately, that's not the reality for most streamers.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about what game. It's not about playing a game you just like. It's about playing a game that there's an opportunity for you to grow and that there's longevity in that. Anybody can play a game they just like, but it's gonna a lot of the time it's gonna crush you.
Yes.
And the reality of it is for any streamer that isn't a variety streamer like yourself or whatever, like say for example, when Hearthstone came out and you were crushing it with Hearthstone and you stuck with it.
Yeah.
And you became a well-known Hearthstone streamer. And then you're like, you know what? I really want to play Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
Or I really want to play this AAA title that came out, and you decide to take 40 hours out of your schedule to do that. You're likely going to lose a huge portion of your viewership while you play that game.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you play it too much, then you'll likely lose subscribers. You'll likely lose people will.
You're gambling. Pick up other people, and even to mitigate how much you're going to lose.
Exactly.
From your main game.
It's a risk. So I agree with what she said.
Yeah.
You should always play a game you like. You shouldn't just play a game because you think it's popular and you fucking hate it. You're going to fail because of that. You need to play a game you like.
Yeah.
But it's more than just that. You also can't just play games you like all the time or love. Sometimes you got it because it is your job. It's like working at Rockstar and they're busting your ass and you're playing 100 hours a week of Hearthstone. And you're just fucking tired of the RNG. That's just the same old same. Sure, you still enjoy it, but it's just how many times can you do it, blah, blah, blah. And you just want to change. Like, you just want to change. But it's up to you if you're willing to make a sacrifice to the downside of making those changes, or you just continue to you suck it up.
Yeah.
And you just continue to keep doing it because it's your job and it's your responsibility to do if you want to continue to be relevant and continue this career, because the reality of it is there's so many people coming in that you can be replaced tomorrow.
Well, exactly.
If you fuck around with what you have too much,
not a problem. Very few people are hard to replace.
Yes.
Not very many.
And I talk about that a lot in the book, and there's a reason why you see the mega streamers, the Summits, the Dr. Disrespects, the Ninjas, the
playing one game.
Playing one game for a long time, getting very famous off that game, and then they have the ability to play whatever they want, when they want, because they're so big now that even if they drop 30, 40, 50, 60% of their viewership,
it doesn't matter.
They still have 10,000 viewers, 8,000 viewers, which means any game that they're playing,
it's profitable.
They're still going to be at the top of the list. And then when those new people come in to see that game, now they're still seeing that really famous person, and they're making up for the loss that they had, and it's up to them to then win those new fans over so that they also watch when they go back to their main game.
Exactly.
And it just snowballs. Unfortunately, as an up-and-coming streamer, you don't have that luxury.
No.
Or even as a mid-tier streamer, someone like myself, you don't really have that luxury. You can't play both sides of the game. You have to stick to one thing, and then you might be able to sneak it in at the end of a stream or whatever and play a little bit. But ultimately, if you spend a day, 2, 3, 4 days, 5 days a week, people are just going to think you quit the other game and,
exactly.
and it's GG.
And just stop showing
and
up.
you're gonna take a hit for it. So
absolutely.
When I heard her say that just play a game and have fun, I was like, you know what? I'm writing a fucking book about what it's really like.
Yeah.
And yes, there is truth to that, but you need to elaborate and not having people get into this business thinking it's just as easy as, well, I really like playing Call of Duty Battle Royale and Ninja's so big, and man, if only I can do that. All I need to do is just keep being play. It's
exactly.
It's not like that at all. It's really it's not like that at all. You see the glitz and the glamour, but you don't see the grind. You don't see the grind behind it. So very few people have that ability to do what they want when they want, and even the people that are big and do what they want, even they feel it.
Of course.
They won't tell you.
No.
Some of them do. Some of them will go out and say, "Man, I'm really disappointed with the viewership of 12,000 people."
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, it hurts their ego. It hurts their pride. They also know that the other competition that are at their level is going to start surpassing them.
Yep.
So even they mentally go through a lot of those things that streamers our size go through as well, except that, it's on a much larger scale. I mean,
exactly,
it is what it is. So that's when I decided to write the book, and I wanted to write a book that shares all the good and not all the bad, but some of the repercussions of your actions and time management and all that stuff. I really wanted to make a book that people could read without the fluff and bullshit.
Yeah.
That they can really go, you know what? At the end of reading this book, you're going to know if you want to do this or not, or what you're getting, or what exactly
you want to do it.
Whether it's casual, part-time, full-time.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. But in the book, it doesn't discourage people from becoming a streamer. In fact, it does the opposite. It encourages people to do it. It just encourages to keep their expectations in check so that they don't give up before they actually get that break, before they actually make it. Because a lot of people come in, they watch my stream, they watch your stream, they go, "Oh man, you got a really strong community and people are always here and you make a ton of money and it's great and it's wonderful, and only if I could do that, I hate my job." And it's like, you can, but if you go into it thinking that that's all you want, that you just want that freedom, that you're going to grind for months, you're not going to get that $100 day or that $50 day or that $1,000 day, and you're just going to give up before you ever get there.
Yeah,
and as long as you curb your expectations and you really know what you're getting yourself into, you're going to enjoy the process, the grind, I call it, and you have a better chance to succeed.
You're at least educated going into it, which always helps you keep your expectations in check.
Yeah.
And that is the biggest thing, which was what you were saying as well, and it was very, we talked about it before we ever talked about it in the stream when we saw that campaign, and we were both going, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Because this is the furthest removed from reality that you could be.
It's misleading.
It's very misleading, and obviously you understand why Twitch would have a misleading campaign like
that. They also can't go out and say, guys, this is going to be tough on your relationship.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough on your health.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough on your time.
Yeah.
You're going to doubt yourself a lot. You're going to deal with a lot of haters and negativity. You're going to have to make some serious sacrifices. You're going to have to learn to become an entrepreneur and run a business. You're going to have all these responsibilities. You're going to have to take some serious risks. You're going to have to do all. Of course, there's nothing sexy about that. There's
nothing palatable about the reality of it, and so
that's the opposite of recruiting.
Yeah, so they went out and just and just did it that way. So like, I get it, but at the same time, like there has to be some checks and balances. So yeah, you'll read Jeff's book when it comes out.
I finished it. I finished writing it. The first draft actually this morning, and yesterday I've been editing. So there's 10 chapters. There's an intro, then there's 10 chapters, and I have edited 4 chapters now, self-edited, right? And man, there was a ton of mistakes. Holy shit! I've been rewriting some of now that I'm reading it back, I'm like, ooh, I don't like that. I just rewrite that, and
it'll happen.
And there's a ton of spelling mistakes, and even grammar, like punctuation wise. I still don't even know like the rules of writing. So, I'm throwing commas and hyphens and random shit in places that my editor's going to have to do.
The Charles Dickens route with commas and fuck periods, just commas everywhere.
Just commas it all.
Just have one sentence that's an entire page. If it worked for Dickens, it can work for everyone else.
Yeah, so I've already sent out a couple of sample scripts to editors, to professional editors, and now I'm just waiting on quotes from them. I gave them a budget, so I'm looking to spend about $2,000 to get for them to do like the copy read. There's a whole bunch of stuff for editing, like formatting and all kinds of shit. So hopefully I'll have an artist by next week, and my cover is pretty much all done. I was actually going to get you to read over my backup book before I send it over.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, I'm almost there. I'm done the writing part, most of the writing. I'm sure there'll be edits and things.
Yeah, of course.
But the ballpark, the bulk of the work is
done.
Complete. I've written a first manuscript of a book. I'm like an amateur author right now, and pretty soon I'm going to be a published author.
Let's go.
It's going to be weird, dude.
It is
and I'm going to put that shit
crazy.
up on my Twitter shit, like, and published author, self-published author. Hopefully an Amazon bestseller.
Let's go. No, I decided to write a book a long time ago. It wasn't because Pokemon went on Twitter and talked about anything. So when I was younger, when I was in my like early teens and whatnot, I was more into writing. I was doing a lot of creative writing and a lot of like review writing and stuff for games. I just kind of enjoyed writing, and my English teacher, Minicello, really pushed me hard when I was younger to just do better. And at the end of it all, when I was graduating and moving on, he awarded me for writing when I graduated and moved into high school. He gave me the award for writing. So he gave me the best that he could for the English department, and told me that I should write. And the man's been teaching since he was like 18 years old. He taught my mother and several others, and he's still teaching now. I think, no, he just retired not long ago. So he taught from the age of like, he was barely older than the kids that he was teaching until he's pushing 70 now. And that's all he's done his whole life. And one of the best teachers I ever had. So when he told me that, I took it to heart, and I had other adults in my life tell me that I should write as well. I lost the book, but I already had poetry that I wrote be published. That's already been done, but I never wrote something for myself, and had it published. So when I was really young, I decided that at some point in my life, I didn't want to be an author. Like, I didn't want that to be my job or my career, but I wanted to at least write a book, like just one. Whether it was successful or not, whether it was any good, it didn't matter. I just wanted to write a book because I had, teachers and stuff instilling that in me and putting a lot of effort into me. And so I felt like I almost owed it to them to make some use of what skill I had and write a book. So I had that from really, really young. And now I'm 30. I just turned 30 5 days ago.
Getting old, Adam.
Getting up there.
Getting old, Adam.
But it's still there. I still want to write a book, and so I'm not in any rush. I don't have a timeline for myself. So I've been chipping away at it. I have, like I've talked about on the podcast before, that notebook. I write my ideas and stuff into it. I started to flesh out world building and stuff like that. But it's not.
I'll admit,
not something crazy.
Waking up in the mornings and heading out to Timmy's or wherever, and just writing for an hour and a half. There's something like therapeutic about it, like just to get away from this and just go out and work towards something.
If you could get paid consistently to do that, it would be kind of nice. But that's the part about being, being an author.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to do it for a living.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not a writer. Like, I even say it in the book. Like, I even say in the book, like, I am not a writer. Like,
God bless my editors.
Yeah. Like I do. I mentioned something about, like, listen, I'm not a professional writer. This is not my thing. But the advice that I'm going to give here is coming from experience. Like I'm
Yeah,
kind of like,
exactly.
you know, and so I couldn't I probably could. I do have an imagination for sure.
Yeah.
I could write something like what you're doing, but I don't think I'd enjoy the process as much as as
doing what you
as
did.
doing what I did. Like this isn't, if I ever write another book, it would probably be something more within this industry, right?
Yeah.
Doing more within
more
that.
experience-based
I don't
stuff.
think I'll ever write a fiction, like a sci-fi,
Yeah.
you know, some shit. I don't know. That's just not my thing, because I don't. But I do enjoy teaching people and sharing knowledge of things that I know, and it really was like therapeutic almost to like put a lot, especially since I live this life, that it was nice to actually put on paper all of the disappointments and the struggles that I've gone through, along with all of the triumphs and the successes, to put that in and put it into a place where people that are buying the book are interested in what the fuck I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's different than if I'm on vacation with the wife somewhere and I meet some guy at the tiki bar and he's asking me what I do for a living and he's drunk or we're drinking and I'm explaining it to him. He doesn't really care. Like he might find it interesting. Making small talk.
Yeah.
It's nice to put something on paper where people are going, "Whoa, I didn't really know that," or "Wow, that's deep," or "Holy shit." And to it's always nice to speak to somebody that's willing to listen to you. And that's what it's almost like pouring my heart out on the paper.
Of course.
And
it's also the scariest part about being an author or an artist is
that
when you
too,
put that out because now you're being judged. Yeah.
Absolutely. But I've been judged, for the last God knows how long. So it can't get any worse. So, but yeah, it's something great about that. And I think you get the same feeling from writing a sci-fi and having your imagination put on paper, and then people go, "Wow, I fucking love what you did with that character." Or I need to know more. You need to do more, right? Problem is when you're writing something like you're doing, your novel is like 80 to 100,000 plus words, and you're not getting paid for it.
No.
Like, sure, you might publish it and you might break even for your time or something,
maybe,
but it isn't your job. Like this isn't like
which is why I haven't put a time limit on myself. It's like I could be 50 and finish the book.
Yeah,
it's just it was a life goal to do one book.
Yeah,
like just get the one book and do it for the process, have the experience. Maybe it does, breaks even, and if I have 3 people that tell me they enjoyed it, then I'm successful.
Awesome.
I'm in.
Just how cool would it be to have your, a published
book,
and
book
just
in
like
your
look at
hand,
it, your name's on the back. It's
Absolutely.
like your ideas. It's like
there.
It's there.
It's a
real.
physical thing.
Yeah,
that's really
cool, man.
Absolutely,
that's fucking cool.
Absolutely.
Knowing that your book is on people's bookshelves somewhere around the world.
That's a cool idea or a cool thing.
Well,
so so that's how it came to be for me. But I guess that's going to be it, I think, for this week, ladies and gentlemen. Shout outs to all of our Patreons. As always, you guys have been incredible and continue to be, and we look forward to hopefully expanding that a bit into the LAGTV community with the StarCraft content as well. Once again, if you managed to skip over this in the beginning of the podcast because you were just searching for this part of the podcast or something, go back and listen to the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah.
But the most important bit is that the Patreon is now patreon.com/LAGTV, LAGTV. It is not Technical Alpha anymore in the URL. It's LAGTV. And that's how you're going to get there. If you click on links and stuff other places, it hasn't been updated absolutely everywhere yet. So just take my word for it. Head on over, patreon.com/LAGTV. You can see the new LAGTV logo there and everything else as well.
What's our next goal? Like, what is this?
3,500
3,500,
which is for Retroverses, and we're like $120 off of Retroverses. And and then again, how that works, as long as we hold 3,500 for a singular month, Jeff and I do Retroverses content for that month,
and it's going out for everybody.
We pick something off of this shelf or a couple of games. We play a couple of games together. We see how stupid or good or bad they are, and put that out. But we're putting it out to everyone.
Yeah.
So it's going to go to YouTube, and everyone will have access to it. It's just, can we hit that goal and keep it? Yes, good. We do it for the month.
We're $113 off. So hey, I'm not trying to say anything. Mr. Miyagi just upped the bar big time.
We're close.
Perhaps by next Thursday when we get together, we're recording Retroverses.
Absolutely. It could happen.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's a thing.
So there it is.
It's a thing.
Thank you, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, there it is. That is another Technical Alpha in the books. Thank you for listening. And until we see you guys next week, peace.